Hi, it's Alec Crawford, your host for the AI Risk Reward podcast. And our special guest today is Al Kushner, founder and CEO of LinkedVantage and award-winning author of the book, The AI LinkedIn Advantage. Welcome, Al.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity, Alex.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. This is going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to our theme of how AI is transforming LinkedIn. So this is going to be pretty amazing. But let's rewind time a little bit. Where did your career journey start?
I would say it was probably back in college. I would say I was working as I was hired actually by an insurance agent to be a telephone solicitor for her.
Hmm.
And I'd gotten really good at it and decided to get my license as an agent since that time. And I've always been independent. I never worked for myself since 21 and have no regrets and really started my career in sales, I would say, was my beginnings.
That's great. Look, I think everybody should start their career in sales. Like, because you know what, whether you're selling insurance on the phone or you're selling the big AI project you want to do to your boss, you're always selling something.
Yeah, you have to learn how to, take command and basically become a thought leader. And that's where I started years ago.
Amazing, amazing. Any other sales tips for the salespeople listening to this show?
Well, how much time do we have on the program? I've got a lot to cover. So,
Just give us one tip. One tip.
as far as being better at sales, you would say,
Sure. Yeah.
I would say write a book. I mean,
Right. Oh, hey, what a great idea. Write a book. Awesome. So, speaking of books, you mentioned before the show a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Pitch the audience on the book.
well, it was just something that resonated well with me. It was about uh, understanding, certain habits that you have to always, take chances. I think I found that you learn from your mistakes, and if you're afraid of making mistakes, then you're not going to succeed. And that's really important. So, and I had to overcome procrastination, which I think a lot of sales people are experiencing. So
Yeah.
it's about taking the risks that are worth it.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. And what led you to the decision to found LinkedVantage?
Well, I found a lot of my clients were looking for ways to become thought leaders on the platform. So I
Mm,
created a book that incorporated both AI and LinkedIn together. And I found it to be very compelling because it saves so much time and it provides so much value to whoever is using the technology to be pretty much dominate their competition. And a lot of them really don't understand, you know, how it works. So I created a book to educate people about how to use it effectively. LinkedIn.
that's great. And did you face any challenges at the start? I mean, like, how did you get the book published?
Well, this wasn't my first rodeo when it comes to books. I published many books before this,
Oh,
so
good.
this was just something that was a passion of mine, and I wanted to share with the world that uh, you can use, both LinkedIn and AI. And I looked on the marketplace to see what existed, and there were really no books that combine both of them. So I figured,
Mhm.
let me create something that could be of interest. And the AI technology is such a growth industry right now, and it's certainly I wanted to capitalize on the wave, and it did. I'm getting a lot of
Yeah,
great reviews and sales, so it's really a huge opportunity to be part of that.
that's awesome. Yeah, I'm hearing from a statistical standpoint about 20% of social media posts, not necessarily LinkedIn, but social media in general, are being totally generated by AI at this point with almost no human involvement. And they're predicting that within a year or two, it's going to be 80% AI generated and 20% human generated. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I think that's the direction people are taking because AI provides such a wealth of value to whoever's using it. And I think the thing to do is to be authentic when you're creating content and make it sound like it's yourself. And I think that's the challenge. But
Hmm.
certainly that's the direction they're taking. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's go closer to 90% in 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Right. And then I'll have my AI talk to your AI, and then we'll do business.
Yeah,
Right. You know.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really the well, think about the ad business, right? It used to be, the uh newspaper sales guy going out to lunch with a big account, and hey, and they still have a bunch of this stuff in TV advertising, right? Like human to human, and like basically Google has automated and taken over the vast majority of the print stuff, right? Or the equivalent of newspaper ads. So, and that's all automated. So all those salespeople, like, not there anymore, right?
No,
Um,
yeah.
so how else is AI changing LinkedIn? So from a couple years ago, let's say, like now that ChatGPT has been here for a couple years, like what are some key observations you've made in terms of like what's happening there? Like what did it so let's take a specific example. A someone who's midway through their career, they get let go, they're looking for a new job. What are some steps they should take on LinkedIn? And what are some specific things they can use AI for to help find the next job?
Well, I would say is to work on optimizing the profile and start with a fresh headshot would be great. If you haven't updated your career or information, you may want to take a look at that as well.
Hmm.
That's important. I would say also to focus in on the header in the background, and that you can include something that if you're looking for work, maybe you want to put that a way of stating that and the type of skills that you can offer a potential employer would be good.
Hmm.
You can use AI to create the content for that header as well as keywords that an employer may be looking for because LinkedIn is also a search engine too. And people will use that to find their
Mm,
next potential employee. So if
sure.
you put in certain keywords, that could make a difference of you landing that position. But also focus in on other aspects of your profile, including any recommendations you received, if you are won any awards or did any volunteer work. That looks very favorable on a lot of employers.
Well, that's great. So, what do you think the job market's going to look like 5 years from now with AI?
Well, I think a lot of the AI is currently being done now is screening a lot of applicants, and
Mm,
it's sometimes it causes a lot of frustration for those who are submitting their resumes and realizing that it's not getting past the AI itself to go to the next step. So I think that they have to step up the game, and that's where I think LinkedIn comes in handy because it's a little more than just a resume. It's something that could be even compelling. You can have articles on there, you can have videos that were done, any recommendations and such that help to convince the employer to hire you. I think that's the next step that should be directed at focusing on profile optimization as opposed to resume sending out.
yeah, absolutely. I think that makes sense to me. Yeah, and I mean, I would just also observe that some of the people and some of the jobs being either sent to me on my text messages or on LinkedIn are not real, right? Like they're fake, and
Yeah.
whether they're people trying to scam you or it's just a company trying to look like they're hiring a lot of people or whatever, or maybe they're doing it for visa purposes or something. They're posting a job where they already thought they found someone for it, things like that. Like, is that something you've observed as well?
Well, yeah. I mean, the fact is to rise above the noise, you might say, is to work on recommendations. And that's really going to
Mm,
be crucial for increasing your credibility. It's
yeah,
really what makes a difference. So if a company is basically, trying to hire people, but their LinkedIn profile doesn't really have anything at all stating about themselves, it's sketchy right off the bat. So they
yeah,
really need to kind of step up the game. If someone has something that is of value, they should have it on LinkedIn, as much information as possible, so they can make informed decisions.
yeah. That makes sense to me. Um, awesome. And So, given what's going on in AI, I mean, you've been thinking about this for a while. Like, are you concerned at all about like the job market for humans in the next 5 years or so? If AI takes a bunch of white collar jobs, what do those people end up doing?
Well, one growth industry is prompt engineering. That's been a very high demand because these AI technologies still need humans in order
Hmm.
to, correct or make content, that makes sense. And AI is not there yet, so it's going to take some time before it even gets to that level. So prompt engineering is in high demand. I think recently that Facebook has been hiring a lot of technology people, paying top
Hmm.
dollar. So I think that's a definitely a growth industry. So as some fields do get set aside, others are developing. So that could be a great opportunity, particularly for those who are working at home. More
Yeah.
opportunities are available now than ever. So that's
Yeah.
great thing.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think over time, AI will create jobs. It will also, take away jobs, and this could be a matter of people may need to retrain or whatever, right? Or just do something different or figure out how to fill those new roles, like the chief AI officer, which totally didn't exist a few years ago, right? And now is a thing. Um, so, what most concerns you about AI over the long term? Let's say a decade or two.
Well, I think that a lot of people are not using it the right way, and you really want to come across as being authentic. So use it as a tool to, give you ideas for content, but try to be original when you're providing that information. So just use it as a tool. It's not an end all. And I think you'll
Hmm.
find that people will be more receptive to that and be more believable when you do it
Yeah,
that way.
that makes sense. And how about advice for someone else that wants to write a book? Have never written a book before, they're passionate about something. Like, how should they do that? What's the first few steps?
Well, I would think first of all, I would probably join an association of
Mm.
authors. There are a
Hmm.
lot of them out there that can help you, and go to a lot of the trade shows that are available, where you can, listen in on other authors being successful at it and see whether it's for you or not. It's
Hmm.
not for everyone, and I find that those who do it, you should put a lot of effort into it and make sure it looks as good as possible. Some people write books and treat it like a business card, and when you look through it, it really is just, pathetic, to be honest with you. And I've spoken to someone recently who was a podcaster, and he says, "Oh, I just use it as a business card, and I couldn't care less whether or not people read it or not. Just giving me the authority." But I said that's not the direction to take. And I've written and co-authored books over the years, and my last book won an award. And for me, it was great. It just showed me that other people appreciate the value. A lot of people
Yep.
tote quote bestsellers and such, but bestseller
Hmm.
for what? A day or two in a category in Amazon, and they
Right.
give them that title? No, that doesn't make sense. You
Yeah.
win an award, you can showcase that. That's something that you can be proud about, and that's what you should do. If you do something, you should be proud about what you're doing, and don't do it for the sake of money.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I think if you're going to become an author only for the sake of money, like good luck, right? It's kind of like professional tennis, right? The top 100 people make all the money kind of thing, and everybody else is
Yeah,
not, or they become a club pro or whatever. Anyway, that takes us to the next section of the show, which is the lightning round, where I mention a number of things and ask if you think that they're underrated or overrated. So we're going to kick it off since you're from Brooklyn with New York bagels, underrated or overrated?
I think underrated.
Oh, meaning you can't get great bagels now in Florida, maybe. I don't know.
It's the water. I'm telling you, it's the
It's the
water, the New York water.
water.
It's true,
It's
and
the same with the pizza. It's the same with the pizza, right?
it's
It's the
just
water.
amazing how the water in New York is just incredible, and it makes a difference in the food you taste. So,
That's so
in
funny.
fact, they have a place over here called Brooklyn Water Bagels, which
Uh-huh.
imports the water from Brooklyn. So, it's
Wow, that's pretty cool. So those bagels were okay?
yeah, it's actually very good. I mean, it beats flying
That's
to New
impressive.
York to get the bagels, but
Yeah,
it's
that's an expensive trip. The
yeah.
the $500 bagel round trip. Um, The future of LinkedIn as a professional networking platform, underrated or overrated?
I would think it's underrated. I think a lot of people don't realize the power and potential and the reach that LinkedIn has. So I'm a big advocate to use the platform more effectively.
Yeah. Is there another parallel platform out there that you're aware of that would be for only executives or anything like that, or is LinkedIn pretty much it?
Pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, ever
Yeah.
since
Wow.
Microsoft took over, I mean, they
Yeah.
really expanded and really have taken over the marketplace. I haven't seen anything as like that, and that's why I kind of stick to one platform that works
Yeah.
well.
Sure. No, I'm just curious. The importance of personal branding in today's business world, underrated or overrated?
I think it's underrated as well. I think personal branding should be the focus of any
Hmm.
type of marketing effort and
Hmm.
developing a brand that people think of you first when it comes to that particular thought that comes in. So that
Hmm.
really is important.
Yeah, totally. Got to stand out somehow. Actually, there's a guy who wears all these crazy color clothes. Whenever I see him at a conference, I'm like, that's some personal branding. I'm not going to copy that personal branding, but it's
Everybody
personal
is
branding.
different. There are
Yeah,
authors like that as well that have a certain look. And I
yeah,
think, but that sets you apart, and that's fine.
yeah. Collecting comic books, underrated or overrated?
Um, Well, it depends on my what age you're asking me of. For me, it was, I guess, collecting at the time was 12 years old. It was probably underrated. I mean, there's certain comic books that I missed out that I should have had, but because of because what happens is there's a certain appearance, and I'm referring to one particular issue of the Hulk where Wolverine was made a first appearance on, and I had a chance to get that book, and I just didn't get it at the time. I think I was out sick that week or something. I usually every week I'm picking up comic books and such, so very frustrating. And now that book is worth thousands
Wow,
because of the
that's
appearance.
wild.
So
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that happens obviously is, you leave your comic book collection in your parents' attic and then they move and then they're all disappear. So sad things like that. How about look, sushi in New York, everybody knows is great. How about sushi in Florida? Underrated or overrated?
I think it's underrated because we've got some great seafood aspects over here. I mean, it's
Yeah,
incredible. So, I mean, if it was in a different area, I mean, we're on the Gulf of America, I guess you might call it now, as well as the Atlantic. So you have access to certainly
sure.
a myriad of seafoods that are really fresh and amazing. So
Amazing. How about now that you live in Florida, how about visiting New York as a tourist? Underrated or overrated?
I think it's overrated. Being that I've come from the area, I've seen so many things there. It doesn't really faze me as much. So I think it's just definitely overrated.
How about visiting Disney World? Underrated or overrated?
Well, I've been there several times, so it is fairly overrated. I mean, it's a great place, but in the summertime, at this time of year, it's just it's like I don't know, walking through Death Valley. I mean, you're
Right.
dealing with the humidity and the temperatures.
Oh yeah. I'd say walking through a broiler. you
Yeah,
know.
pretty much. But if you got kids, they couldn't care less. They just drag you
They're
along.
like,
So
yeah, exactly. Or it's like, wow, this chicken leg's really hot, or this turkey leg's really hot, but it's that hot outside too. So,
yeah, it's brutal out there. But
um, and how about since you live near Mar-a-Lago, visiting Mar-a-Lago, underrated or overrated?
that's with you. If I get an invitation, I'll let you know.
Okay, awesome. And then finally, the Will Smith movie, Pursuit of Happiness, underrated or overrated?
I think it's underrated. I mean, it's a movie that you have to watch several times in order to get the message across, and sometimes
Yeah,
that's really the best way to enjoy a movie is just seeing things you never really knew that they talked about. So definitely see it at least more than once.
awesome. Well, I have liked Will Smith in many movies, so that makes sense to me. Well, look, this has been great to have you on the show. This has been Al Kushner, founder and CEO of LinkedVantage and author of the AI LinkedIn Advantage. Thanks for coming on the show, Al.
Thank you,
There's
and
the book. Awesome.
you
Yeah,
guys
and
check it
where
out.
can people find your book?
Well, if they listen to audiobooks, you can find it on Spotify. Eventually, it'll
Hmm.
be on Audible, I hope shortly. And then the hardcover copies available on Amazon as other fine retailers out there. So, yeah, check it out. And also go to my website, linkvantage.com, where I offer a free ebook on profile optimization. So, check it out.
Perfect. That's great. Thanks, Al. Great to have you. That was
Thank you.
fun.
It's a pleasure.